Welcome back, everyone. We're going through a strange time. It's really been different going through this pandemic. Gosh, it's about 6 or 8 weeks now that we've been going through these changes, this time of uncertainty. And certainly is, for all of us, it's a time of anxiety and fear because there's a lot of change that has occurred. And a lot of us are not sure what the future holds, what life is going to be like after this is all over. And certainly people have lost, whether it be their jobs, sometimes it's a loved one, but people have lost a lot of their independence, their freedoms because of this pandemic. And I believe that all of us throughout our lives have gone through adversity, change, hardship, trauma, and we've adapted, we've adjusted. It's certainly been painful, no doubt. I think back to when I was 13 and I lost my mother to cancer. What a difficult time that was, incredibly painful and dark. It was a time where I didn't know what life would be like without her. And I struggled to see light at the end of the tunnel and to wonder whether I'd be okay. But actually, as a result of that adversity, I grew up. I became a man. And I realized at that time that I wanted to pursue a career in the helping profession. I wanted to do something to help others work through their pain and their adversity like I have been through. And here I am years later working as a psychologist and seeing people every day go through trauma, pain, and loss. It's not all that different from what we're experiencing right now with the coronavirus. We're all going through something very similar. We're experiencing it all together. There is hope, and there are silver linings, and that's really what I want to focus on today. What are the silver linings that you can identify, that I can identify from this experience? And there are several. I'm going to name some, and maybe there are some that you can identify that I didn't name. For starters, people are now working remotely, working from home. And that may be something that will change the future. That may be something that stays with us even after the pandemic. It's giving people more flexibility in working from home. Also, learning has become virtual. Distance learning, where students, whether it be high school, college, elementary, are learning from home. Maybe that's difficult for some, especially if you have multiple kids around and there's many distractions, but people are doing it. They're learning from home. Telehealth is something that has started up. It's been around for a little while, but now it's become almost commonplace. And I believe that's something that we'll see in the future as well. Being able to speak with a doctor that maybe you can't get into his office, or maybe it's a doctor that lives in a different state that has a certain expertise that you really want to consult with. So that's an opportunity that I see as positive. Certainly globally, we've all seen the pollution reduction as a result of people not using automobiles or planes not flying as much, but there's certainly a reduction in our pollution levels. Personally, I believe that this opportunity to be stuck in home has given us a greater appreciation for face-to-face interactions. There's nothing like being face-to-face with someone, being able to give them a hug, being able to talk with them one-on-one. That interaction is just so special. And I think we're realizing how special those face-to-face interactions are. We're also appreciating nature way more than we did before. A lot of us have spent a lot of time in front of screens, but to get outdoors and to appreciate nature, I see people walking, jogging, riding their bikes. There are way more people out exercising and enjoying nature. It's also given us an opportunity to connect with people that we might normally not connect with, whether it be neighbors that we've just met for the first time or people that we haven't talked to in years. This has given us an opportunity to connect with others that we haven't been connected to in a very long time. Something else that a lot of people are telling me is they're getting these projects done around the house, home projects that they've been putting off for years, and they're finally getting around to doing these home projects. So this pandemic is allowing that opportunity. It's also given us time to pause, to reflect, to slow down. We, myself included, can be very intense and driven, and this has really just slowed us down. It's also put less of a focus on work productivity and performance, and it's allowed us to appreciate our spouse, our family, our friends. It's really slowed us down. And for me personally, actually, it's given me more time to rest. I've been sleeping more, which is a good thing. And it really has given me time to pause and be still, which is something that I am not very good at. It's also given us, many of us, time to really lean into our faith, to trust in God, to rely on God, and to use that spiritual connection that maybe lied dormant for a while, or maybe we didn't spend a whole lot of time reading the Bible or in prayer, and now we're doing just that. Lastly, this opportunity gives us time to work through trauma, tragedy, loss. You see, when we go through adversity, when we go through difficult times, sometimes we want to just gloss over them. Sometimes we want to compartmentalize those difficult times and put them in a box. But I believe that suffering and healing often occur simultaneously. I believe that when we go through trauma and tragedy and loss, there's a lot of growth. There's a lot of change that can occur. This is a time for us to make changes. It's a time for us to grow. I believe that we as humans are constantly growing and changing, and that's part of our resilience. Focus on the positive changes, the ways in which this pandemic has impacted you and your life in a positive way. The silver lining. What are yours? Be well, be safe. Until next time, Dr. Tony signing out.